All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again for a roster review. Today we're going to be looking at LSUFAN 2749, also known as Lemmy Lemons. He's got a pretty stacked roster here. First, a little bit about this player. He's a very good player. You can tell that by his 500,000 lifetime banner points in GAC. He's also in my guild, so I know firsthand just how skilled of a player he is. He's got a very high roster. One of the cool things about his rosters is actually pretty similar to mine. He has SLKR and he has Jedi Master Luke, which are the two Galactic Legends I have / going for right now. So when I was going through looking around at a lot of these teams, there are a lot of things that I would like to do. And even in his GAC history, there are a lot of things that I would like to do as well that I'm going to advise he does as well. So without further ado, whenever we do these, we always take a look at what the player themselves wants and as well as their GAC history to see if there's anything major that they can improve on. And with LSU's defense and offense, there was only really one key thing I saw that I think really needs to change. Otherwise, it could end badly, and that is the overall use of the Jedi in the 501st. Right now, LSUFAN is using Shaak Ti a lot with his clones on defense. This team can be good. He's actually gotten holds from it from different teams like Jedi Knight Revan. But this team is just so stacked right now. R7 on every single one of these guys. I know that because he's done the cam mission. With that being said, when you put Shaak Ti in there, you really leave it vulnerable to a lot of weaker teams. Whereas if you put in Gas as the leader, they are so much harder to take down. And it's just a team that you're never going to walk away with full banners from. Like, you can walk away from full banners with Shaak Ti. You're not walking away with full banners from Gas. Just because of the mechanics of his topple works, and he comes back with an AoE, and he has stacking damage, it's going to make the team a lot more harder to deal with. And also because the main way you're using Gas currently right now is for soloing. In LSU, the more GP we continue to stack on our rosters, the less soloable teams we're going to have, and the more we're going to be tempted to try something that we shouldn't otherwise try because we want to use that character we took on offense. That's really GAC-wise, that's what I would advise. I would advise using General Skywalker with your clones, particularly on defense. You could take them on offense too, but really, they don't do well banner-wise on offense either. So keep them on defense, and with Shaak Ti, and this is something that I'm working through right now with myself too, and I think it would be good for you. Start taking Shaak Ti with Jedi Master Luke. She's a great addition to the team. She's very strong. She's very fast. And just because of how Jedi Master Luke's leader works with the damage being based off his protection, here it is. Yeah, then they deal true damage to the target enemy based on 60% of Jedi Master Luke's base max protection, which can't be evaded. A lot of characters like Shaak Ti or Hoda, who aren't necessarily hard hitters but are really fast Jedi, can get lots of turns out, they can really put in some work. So that's really my advice as far as GAC goes. Start leaving Gas with the clones. They will do a lot of work. And start taking Shaak with your Jedi Master Luke to make a really, really good Jedi team. So that's going to be it as far as GAC goes. Now let's get a little bit into modding. There are two teams that you requested for modding, and the first one I'm going to look at is going to be the Super Rebels. What do I mean when I say Super Rebels? CLS, Chewbacca, Han, Nubaka, and C-3PO. Very, very good team. You've been leaving this on defense and GAC, and it has been doing a lot of work. It's either been taking down Gas teams, or it's been getting them very close and pretty much stripping the banners entirely away from them. Keep leaving it on defense. That's awesome. However, with modding, there are some things that need to be changed. I'm going to go into the two that are looking pretty good, and then we're going to go into the three that really need to be radically changed. First up is C-3PO. Your C-3PO is hot. Like, he's got exactly what he needs to get. For CLS, you really want that protection, not as much health, and that's exactly what you have. You can get protection regained from Nubaka, and as well, there's not really any reason to have health different from Padme, where you have courage and whatnot. 100 speed, pretty good. Could be a little bit better. I'm not going to complain about it. And quite a bit of potency. So those are really the only stats that 3PO needs to function off of. You could make them faster, but I mean, that really just goes down to your individual mods. The only suggestion actually, I like that mod. You have a health primary here on the triangle. Either 60 it and make it even stronger, put up to 16%, or switch it out for a protection primary. Other than that, these mods are in a pretty good shape. Like I said, it would be better for him to be faster, but at the end of the day, the mods you have are the mods you have. If you take them off of another character to put them on him, it could be just as bad. So 3PO is looking pretty hot. He's looking pretty good. Other characters doing really well, Nubaka. I'm guessing you modded him recently, and that's why he has such good mods, but he has pretty much exactly what he needs. And this is important for other ones. We're going to talk a little bit about this unique right now. He gets 40% of the leader's max health, max protection, offense, pay attention to that, defense, potency, and tenacity for the first encounter, and rebel allies gain half that amount, okay? So what does that mean? That means that Nubaka is going to be passing on a pretty significant amount of offense from CLS onto the rest of the team. And I say this now because the way you get the most damage out of a team is by combining different amounts of offense and crit damage. You don't really want to base off of one. You want the multiplier to be large as well as the base number to be large. So you have a crit damage set over here. You have a modded for 222% crit damage, which is great. Speed's not high, not really a problem. Maybe he uses a little more survivability, but the two things that you have a lot are crit chance, crit damage, and potency. And these are the three stats that he really needs the most. Like, that's a solid mod. This mod right here, again, kind of the similar idea as 3PO. If you're going to put health mods on people, especially relic characters, they need to be 6E. So I take it to 6E or put a protection one down. That one's okay. This was really good. Yeah, like I said, a lot of these are really good. He's looking pretty solid. Now, remember we talked about with offense being taken from the leader, because now we're going to work into the other three, and the other three, they need some work. CLS is actually pretty solid for maybe 4 months ago-ish. Now that you're using Nubaka, his stats are being shared to the entire team, and CLS has really good base stats. That being said, you currently have him modded for speed, which is or was the correct way to mod him. My CLS is actually still modded for speed. This is something I need to do as well. And the reason why is because he used to be the engine for the team to kind of get it going. With Nubak in place, you don't need to really worry about how TM works just because they hit so incredibly hard. Like, it's ridiculous. And you really want to milk that by putting as much offense on CLS as possible. You don't necessarily need to drain his speed too much. If you can get him maybe another 270, 260, that would be great. He actually does already have quite a bit of offense on him, but you want that to be as high as possible. Like, we got some mods over here. This one has 7 speed, 80 offense. Like, switch that up for another mod, or at least take it to 6E to get the 8% offense out of it. These mods really aren't that great overall. Like, yeah, it's got potency and tenacity that can be shared with the rest of the team. It's actually not a bad mod, but again, a lot of these need to be 6C'd if you're going to continue to use them. This mod's really solid, actually. Definitely take this one up to 6C. 15 speed, offense, and crit chance. Very good mod. This one could probably go off of them. It's a health set, and it's got 23 speed. Actually, you should probably... I would consider taking this one to 6B or 6D. That has really high potential for speed. I would definitely do that, actually. But yeah, pretty much he's built for speed, make him built for offense. Summing that one up. Next two, similar idea. Okay, first thing that's correct, you've got him set for crit damage. Again, he's getting 20% of the offense from CLS, so you want to stack that with crit damage. However, a lot of these stats just really aren't that great, particularly secondaries, like 9 speed, you've got tenacity. One thing, and this is true for a few of his mods, you've got your Chewbacca modded for a little bit of tenacity, about 10%. If you don't go full tenacity on Chewbacca, don't bother. Don't put, if you're not going to put sets, secondaries, and primaries all together, don't bother trying to split it, because it's just going to waste your stats and you're going to get dazed or you're going to get debuffed anyways. So I would look for other mods that give you other valuable stats. Again, you want him to hit hard. Speed is of a little importance, because you do want him to eventually take a turn. He's got some pretty good abilities. Like this right here, this should be an offense primary. This one right here, that's actually pretty good, but despite the tenacity being there. Not half bad either. I prefer more offense on the secondaries. But yeah, for as much damage as Chewbacca can do, he's really being limited by only 500 bonus offense. And this is actually very similar as well for your Han. He needs to have more offense in his secondaries. One thing that you do have that's worth noting is you don't have a crit chance set on him, and that actually doesn't matter. A lot of people think it does, but it really doesn't. Han naturally has 85% crit chance, which is super high. And if you combine that with his unique, he gets 20 more. You combine it with guard, I think it's 20, 25 more. He's going to be way over 100%. So don't worry about the crit chance set. But again, the dude needs, this is actually a pretty good mod of 6C. I would 6C. It's got 15 speed, it's got high health, it's got the offense primary. You need to take these stronger mods up higher and get him hitting harder with more offense. This mod could probably go up as well. It's got pretty good secondaries. Speed could be a little bit higher. But yeah, my suggestion is make them hit harder. And the way you're going to do that is by offense secondaries. And you really don't have a lot. Not on him, not on Chewbacca, not on CLS. Crit damage is good though, yeah. That's better than Chewbacca was. So yeah, Rebels overall, looking good, but they really need to be built more for offense so that literally your opponent will come in with a team and they will one-shot someone immediately and make the battle 5 versus 4. It's a beautiful thing to see. The other team that was requested to look at are the Separatist droids. The Separatist droids are kind of similar to your Rebels in the sense that you've got 2 that have got it going on, and you've got 3 that could really be better. The first one is General Grievous. General Grievous, this is actually a very similar situation to mine, unfortunately. You have him modded for a lot of health, which is amazing, and a decent amount of speed. Speed could be a little bit higher. Again, this is something I'm struggling with. 220 would be better, but he does have just a lot of kind of useless stats on the secondaries. This mod is amazing. That circle is awesome. Perfect for him. But right here, we've got a mod with 3 rolls on flat offense and tenacity. That's useless. That's 5 rolls right there out of, what is that? 8 in total that aren't getting you anywhere. And I understand this. Unfortunately, I have a very similar amount of my General Grievous because of the 16% health primary. But be on a lookout to replace these because a lot of them are pretty similar. Like, again, he's got flat health, which is whatever. Potency isn't great because his leadership already gives that stacking, so it's not really that big of a concern. Again, more tenacity, more flat offense. You got the right idea with the primaries, but the secondaries are really lacking. This one doesn't even have any speed on it. Yeah, this would be much better if it was flat, if it was percent health. So good, not great. Good, not great on Grievous, but at the end of the day, those are mods you specifically have to look for. B1 is great. Everything he needs to be. He's got well over 100 speed. Crazy amount of offense. This is what your Han and Chewbacca need to look like. Not 500, not 1,000, but 3,000 physical offense added on. Like, that's crazy. That's awesome. And also, I was looking at these individually earlier. This mod needs to be taken up immediately. This is such a good mod. This might be one of the best mods you have in your entire inventory. 23 speed on four rolls, 2.5% offense on 2. And then percent potency and percent health. Like, this needs to be taken up to 6D immediately. If you hit speed, that's a 29 speed mod. This is a ridiculously good mod on him. I'm not going to go into the rest. They're good. That's pretty much how it works. Like, they've got speed, you've got offense, you've got potency. Those are the only 3 things that matter for him. So B1 is sexy AF. Coming down to the other ones, B2 kind of is there, kind of not. Get a crit avoidance arrow on him with all the other crit avoidance mechanics in the GG Separatist team, like B1 for example, or even Watt. You really want to get as much crit avoidance as possible so that people just can't crit him. Also, potency isn't that big of a deal because of GG's lead. So you would better off having more protection, which you already do have quite a bit of, and more tenacity. And those are just kind of not here. Like, you've got potency primaries, protection primary is good. Protection primary is very good. But he would benefit from more tenacity. That's kind of the same thing for Magna here. You've got Magna modded pretty well. Lots of protection. Whole lot of protection. It's very good. Not very fast, but that doesn't matter. You need tenacity, though. You need tenacity mods on him. You need tenacity primary here. As much tenacity you can get, because if he gets shock, if he gets dazed, if he gets stunned, he's the cleanser for your team. So if they can control him, if they can keep him from doing anything, it opens General Grievous up to a lot more counters than just the standard Padme or Jedi, for example. So he needs more tenacity. And Droideka, I don't think you usually use Droideka. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because you usually use BB-8 on defense, I think. He's got offense, but really he needs to be relicked to really hit hard. Yeah, these are good. These aren't bad. You've got offense primaries on everything. He doesn't really need the speed, so I wouldn't. It's actually pretty good flat offense as well. He's got okay-ish mods, but again, you don't use him too much, so I'm not going to go into him that much. All right, that's going to be it for today. Lemmy, LSUFAN, pretty rockin' roster. Remember, reorganize your Jedi for the next GAC, especially for this next 5v5. Get more offense onto your Rebels, and start looking for some more specific mods for your General Grievous team. But that's going to be about it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, stay awesome.